Forget the online meltdowns. Today's episode dives into the archives to unearth the original Karens, the ones who came way before the internet. Now, Karen has become a pop culture term for entitled women who weaponize their privilege. But where did this stereotype even come from? Well, these figures might have some answers. First up, we have Carolyn Bryant. In 1955, 14-year-old Emmett Till, a black boy visiting Mississippi from Chicago, he patronized her family's store. According to Carolyn's accusation, Emmett whistled inappropriately and made advances towards her. This accusation was demonstrably false. Emmett had a speech impediment that prevented him from whistling. Her accusation, fueled by racial prejudice and a desire to intimidate a black teenager, led to Emmett's brutal kidnapping, torture, and murder. Years later, after decades of pressure, there were reports that Carolyn recanted parts of her story, claiming she couldn't remember everything, but never admitted outright to lying. Here's the Karen part. Carolyn used her perceived racial privilege to weaponize a completely fabricated story, leading to the lynching of a child. Her actions are a chilling example of how racism can distort reality and have deadly consequences. Sarah Page was a resident of Tulsa, Oklahoma. In 1921, an incident between Sarah and Dick Rowland, a black shoe shiner, is often regarded as the reason for the Tulsa Race Massacre. This encounter unleashed a wave of racial violence that left hundreds dead and a thriving black community in ruins. The Great Depression drove many Americans, including black and white teenagers, to hop freight trains in search of work. This widespread practice in 1931 became the unfortunate backdrop for the Scottsboro Boys case, a deeply unjust event that would profoundly impact the nation in 1932. Tensions rose when the white teens wanted the black teens off the train, leading to a fight. In self-defense, the black teens kicked the white teens off the locomotive. Enraged, the white teens sought help from a local sheriff, resulting in the train being stopped. 9 black teens, aged 13 to 19, were singled out and falsely accused of a crime. 2 white women, Victoria Price and Ruby Bates, on the train that day, falsely accused several of the black boys of rape. The initial trials in 1931 were rushed and racially biased, resulting in death sentences for 8 of the boys. The youngest was spared due to his age. Collectively, the Scottsboro Boys spent a total of 130 years in Alabama jails and prisons for a crime they did not commit. Over the ensuing decades, each of the 8 teens, now men, was released from prison, but that bogus rape accusation effectively derailed their lives. This injustice unfolded unevenly, with each young man facing a different path through the legal system. Some, like Clarence Norris, who spent over 30 years behind bars, were repeatedly retried and reconvicted to lengthy sentences. Others, like Haywood Patterson, who served 18 years, were eventually paroled but never formally exonerated. The youngest defendant, 12, Leroy Wright, was spared the harshest sentences due to his age, but his life was still significantly impacted by serving multiple years in prison. Despite being wrongfully convicted and imprisoned, the Scottsboro Boys received no significant financial compensation. Although several eventually received pardons from the state of Alabama, these pardons did not include any financial recompense for their ordeal. Now, applying the term Karen to these women from history might be a bit of a simplification, but their stories represent the dark side of mankind's behavior, using their perceived power to inflict harm on black people. Let's not forget the true cost of their actions. These stories remind us of the dangers of prejudice and the importance of speaking out against injustice. What do you think? Were these women the original Karens? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.